Hey everyone, I want to share with you today a technique you can use if you're overwhelmed. Okay, so this is a technique that's taken from a lady named Donna Eden, who is kind of a pioneer in the energy medicine world, but she really bridges the gap between energy medicine, which is that subtler approach to health, and the subtler approaches to our bodies includes things like traditional Chinese medicine, like acupuncture, and a host of other more Eastern approaches, such as the chakras that's popular in yogic tradition. But she also looks at like psychology, and she looks at how these areas interact with our organ systems and our emotions. And so she is a practitioner. Her husband, David Feinstein, wrote the book Tapping, as well as Energy Medicine. Donna wrote Tapping. And so this is a technique taken from tapping. And so if you're overwhelmed, this works with all sorts of emotions, but it links in. David Feinstein is a psychologist, so his approach comes from a very psychological perspective. But the thought here is that you're basically combining an affirmation. So the first line of the affirmation would be, even though I am blank, even though I am overwhelmed. And then you say an acceptance statement. So I love and accept myself completely would be a common one. Okay, so even though I am overwhelmed, I love and accept myself completely. And as you say the first part of it, you tap on the sides of your hand. That's the small intestine meridian, which has to do with choices. It's a very powerful energy point in traditional Chinese medicine. Okay, or you can rub in your armpits, kind of where your armpit meets your arm, your shoulder, and that's the lung meridian, but it also corresponds to a couple other ones. So by tapping and pushing on this area, it does a couple different things in traditional science as well, because you're thinking about that area. It also connects some areas to our brain. So there's a whole host of things it does while you're repeating this phrase. You're taking action at the same time. So this is very similar to what's also called EFT, emotional freedom technique. That's a very common approach as well. Anyway, so even though I am overwhelmed, and then your hands over your heart, I love and accept myself completely. Or you can do, even though I'm overwhelmed, I love and accept myself completely. Even though I'm overwhelmed, I love and accept myself completely. So to do that 3 times. You can do just these, or you can do these, doesn't matter. And then you go through a protocol of tapping on different, there's about 12 different areas in a row you tap on. You can just do the face, and this is going to be kind of a lot to look at quickly, but we're going to go through them. So, and you repeat the first part of this, even though I am overwhelmed, or just I'm overwhelmed, and you think about the thing you're overwhelmed about. Or if you can't even do that and it's too much, even though I'm overwhelmed. So you tap the top of your head, 2 or 3 fingers on your thumb if you want. Even though I am overwhelmed, between the eyebrows. Even though I am overwhelmed, just enough to, you do it enough to say the statement, then you move on to the next one. Side of the eyebrows, even though I'm overwhelmed. Under the eyes, even though I'm overwhelmed. This is the stomach, corresponds to emotions. Even though I'm overwhelmed, large intestine meridian. Under here, central meridian, even though I'm overwhelmed. Where your collarbones meet your sternum, even though I'm overwhelmed, just under your clavicle. On your sternum, even though I'm overwhelmed, you're thinking about that overwhelming feeling. Sides of your body, even though I'm overwhelmed. And then sides of your femur, you can't really see, but like sides of your femur on both sides. Sides of your leg, even though I'm overwhelmed. And sides of your hands again, even though I'm overwhelmed. And then between the 4th and 5th bones, tap, even though I'm overwhelmed, even though I'm overwhelmed. Okay, so that should take 30 seconds. So you go through that, and even after that, you should be less overwhelmed. You can do a rating, they say, before you do it. So out of 10, 10 being the most extreme. Okay, I'm at an 8. Oh, I just did that. Now I feel a little better. It's really wild how it works. And then you can do this integration eye movement thing if you want, or you can just do that all again. So again, and this time if you want, you can say even though I'm overwhelmed, or you can say even though I'm overwhelmed on the one tap, and then the next tap, you can go, I love and accept myself completely. Then the next tap, even though I'm overwhelmed, I love and accept myself. Okay? So I know this is a lot, but we'll try that one this time. Even though I'm overwhelmed, I love and accept myself completely. Even though I'm overwhelmed, I love and accept myself completely. Even though I'm overwhelmed, I love and accept myself completely. even though I'm overwhelmed, I love and accept myself completely. Side of the body, even though I'm overwhelmed. Side of the legs, I love and accept our thighs, I love and accept myself completely. Even though I'm overwhelmed, I love and accept myself completely. And it's crazy. Even now, me doing that, I feel more at peace, and I've had a pretty crazy day. So this is a form of tapping. You can look up EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. You can look up Donna Eden, her book Tapping. It's various approaches from that, but there's really practical stuff you can try if you're overwhelmed, if you're stressed. This works with any emotion: anger, fear, anxiety, anything. You can think of something just emotionally charged you. What it does is it removes the emotional charge from your body, and then helps you think clearer. Okay? So top of the head, between the eyes, side of the temples, side of the eyes, the bone, under the eyes, nose, under the nose, chin, under the clavicles, going to be beside the sternum there, on the sternum, sides of the body, sides of the legs, thighs, sides of the hands, and then right in there. Okay? I hope that helps. All the best.